Hello again, Warriors. I am reporting today, or recording this video today, from Florida as I've just attended the International Maxell Conference. It was amazing as I finished my certification for the John Maxwell Leadership Team. I've learned so much, I've grown so much, and that's what I want to talk to you about is growth. Dr. Maxwell had some amazing insights about growth as he talked to us, and I want to share some of those with you. So let's jump in and learn some of the stuff that I've been learning about the last few days. So once again, Warrior, my name is Lawrence Stone. I'm the basic trainer, and I want to establish a rhythm to your vision. Uh, I, I want so much to add value to people's lives, and that's why I've dedicated myself to this. And I appreciate that you find value in your life as you subscribe to my emails. If you truly do find value in these emails, I encourage you, please invite other people to follow and subscribe. Follow my YouTube page, subscribe to my emails. Let them share in the benefit of these messages as well. And as I'm learning and growing more, I'm bringing more value. I'm getting more value into my life. And then I just want to radiate that value and that light into your life. As I mentioned, I just spent the last 3.5 days almost learning from John Maxwell and his team and some guest speakers. And it's just been a fire hose of information, and I loved every minute of it. And I've absorbed so much. And what I haven't absorbed, I've taken a lot of notes on and a lot of pictures and shots of the images that they were using and the slides that they were using, so I can go back and I can continue to learn more and review these notes and these lessons. But the first day was referred to as a day of growth, and they had speakers specifically there to talk about how to grow and how to do more. Now, you'll notice that the quote I have for today, even though I'm talking about John Maxwell, isn't even a John Maxwell quote. It's from Chris Robinson, who's part of John Maxwell's team, his executive team. And one of the trainings, he said, don't complain about where you are. Instead, pay the price for where you want to be. I loved it so much. In fact, I even made it the background on my phone because it's a powerful quote. A lot of times we're complaining. Complaining does not equate to growth. Don't complain about every situation. I've talked about this in the past. Don't worry about what you can't control. Focus on what you can control. Focus on how you respond. There's so much more in your life that you can control than what you can't control. But so often we focus on what we can't control. We have a lot of people anymore in society who just want to give up all the time. Now, just so you're aware, some of the lineup at this event, apart from Dr. Maxwell himself, we also got some great remarks from Juliet Funt, who I wasn't familiar with her before. I need to go check out her book. In fact, I wrote it down here, but she talks about taking gaps, taking time. A Minute to Think. That's what her book's called. A Minute to Think. I need to get that book. She had an amazing message that was phenomenal. Then after her, we had James Clear. I love James Clear. That was actually one of the selling points for convincing Melissa to come with me in a 10-day of growth as well, because we both listened to the audiobook of Atomic Habits together last year. We loved it. I actually bought a copy and hoping that maybe I'd run into him and get him to sign it, but unfortunately I didn't get that chance. But love that book. I've been re-listening to it to prepare for Growth Day, and there's just so much in it. If you haven't read Atomic Habits, you have to read it, or at least listen to the audiobook. Incredible book. And being able to have him coach us on growth as well was amazing. Then Ryan Leake was a new discovery of mine, and his book on failure and seeking failure. I think that's what it's called. Something about failure. But I listened when I found out he was going to be there. I researched him and found his book and loved it. Failure is such a big thing. It's such an important thing. I learned a lot from him as he talked about failing, and if you check out on my Instagram, I posted a reel with some of the shots of some of his slides and some of his quotes. One of the quotes that he had that I really loved, one of the things I got from him is I need to pay attention to failings and document failings so I can document what I learned. But I like how he said a couple of things I had is choose failure, not foolishness. And also he talked a lot about learning from other people's failures as well. And you know me, I've talked about it on context. I love reading biographies. I love learning about people, learning about what made them successful and what hurt them as they became successful. Then Ally Love is someone who I was not as familiar with. Ally Love, she gave a great speech as well. She talked about some amazing things about growing, about persevering. She's a very successful businesswoman, done a lot of work with Peloton, and she gave some inspiring remarks as well. But I want to go back to a little bit about what John Maxwell taught. And I find it interesting. So John Maxwell published 79 books at this point. That's a lot of books. Okay. And, that's more books than years he's been alive. And then the amazing shocker is he actually has 90 books, that he's got 8 more in the queue and 3 more that he's working on. It's interesting because as he talks about what he does every day and things that he does every day is he writes every day. And he's been doing that for years. And another thing he does is he files every day. Whenever he gets a good quote or good information, he files it and saves it so he can go back to it and he has it as a resource. And people ask him, Harry talked about, am I ever going to finish writing books? And he says, no. He says, we need to grow continually. As long as you have a chance, as long as you're still alive, you need to grow. And that's what's made him so prosperous, is because he feels the need to grow. He wants to grow. He continues to grow. And I thought that's an amazing lesson. A lot of people would look at where John Maxwell is, the amount of success that he's obtained, the things that he's done in his life, and they could very easily think, yeah, once I get there, I'm just going to relax and take it easy. And John Maxwell is not about, I'm just going to relax and take it easy. I'm sure he enjoys life and he has a lot of great things, but he looks at where he's at and he says, how am I going to grow? What can I do to continue to grow? That's what makes John Maxwell so successful. That's what makes him such a great leader. He doesn't look at success as an end destination. He doesn't look like X number of dollars is my end destination. It's, I still need to add value to people's lives. And he even talked about it. He says you'll find people like him, and I don't know if he specifically does this, but he can basically take all the money that he earns at this point and give it away. And that's what he does with a lot of his money, is he just turns around and he gives it away. He even talked about, I was like, you're going to buy this program and all the money I'm going to make from it, I'm just going to give it to someone else. Because he's charitable. And that's what he wants to do, is he wants to add value to people's lives. And he's continually growing. Don't focus on the end goal. Yeah, goals are important. I don't want to dismiss that. We need goals to help us out. But don't make goals your focus. Make growth your focus. And then never say, when I get to this point, I'm done. I don't need to grow anymore. Okay, people who say, I'm done learning, I don't need to learn anymore, I've learned it all, you may be the dumbest people in the world. There's still more to learn. John Maxwell talked a lot about how he's still learning and still growing. Okay, that is the focus. That is my challenge to you. Take a look at your goals and find out not what the goal is, but how you're going to grow obtaining it, and then focus on growth more than the goal. That way, no matter what, even if you don't hit your goal, you're going to grow. How amazing is that? Growth, which is even more important than hitting your goal. I've talked to people who have hit 6-figure incomes and have felt no more fulfilled in their lives than they did before because they didn't grow. I've met people who've lost weight and still felt discouraged because they didn't change their lifestyle. Grow. It's going to be amazing, and it's going to really help you establish that rhythm to your vision. Just watch what happens.